All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. This is Brother Choir from the DC camp. Come back at you with another lesson, and I'm going to title this one, UFOs or the Chariots of Israel, or the Chariots of the Lord. All right? And this was inspired off of an article that came out that was released. This was April 28th, 2020, about a couple of weeks ago. 2020 year prophecy, man. And this is just one of the other prophecies that's unfolding, man. That's coming to the light. This is time of revelations, which means to reveal. So the vision is speaking, man. It says the Pentagon releases 3 UFO videos taken by U.S. Navy pilots. The previously leaked videos were declassified to clear up any misconceptions whether they are real. You know, so they let these revealing these videos, man, that these UFOs was taken out. I mean, it was actually there, man. You know, it says the Pentagon on Monday released 3 declassified videos that shows U.S. Navy pilots encountering what appeared to be unidentified flying objects. The grainy videos, which the Pentagon says depict unexplained aerial phenomena, were previously leaked, with some believing they show alien UFOs. You know, so they let you know that they was real, man. And these has been circulating since 2007, which is the year that the apostles went on YouTube, man. It says, I'm going to go down. It says, the release of the videos by the Pentagon adds to the legitimacy of the videos and will spur more speculation that humans have recently interacted with extraterrestrials. Now, we're going to explain what these are, because these are, like I said, they're not unidentified. They are the Chariots of Israel. But I wanted to show you a little bit of the video, and then I'm going to get into the scriptures. You know, for educational purposes only.
Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
Look at it. Look how it looks, man. Like a wheel within a wheel.
That's not our LNS, though, is it? It's not. That is an LNS, dude. Well, if there's like look at that thing. It's rotating.
Look, it's rotating. Look how fast it's going.
Nickel 6-1 Tango, Roger. Oh, got it! Woohoo! Roger, there's troubleshooting.
Now this is something that they've been they've seen for a while now, man. But we're in them times where it's being revealed. I wanted to grab this scripture first. This is Ezekiel 1 verse 15. It says, now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a barrel. And they had 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. It says, when they went upon their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them 4. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whitherso the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. And that's why it's able to move the way it was moving, man. You know? Because wherever the spirit wants it to go, that's where the chariots move. That's that advanced technology of those UFOs, man. You know? And I'm going to prove that is the chariots. Those are the chariots of the UFOs, man. The chariots of the Lord. This is where is it? 2 Kings 2 verse 11. It says, and it came to pass as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more, and he took hold of his clothes and rent them in two pieces. Because Elijah, the way he left was, he got beamed up by the chariots, man. Just like how Yahushua did when Yahushua died and came back. He left by the chariots, man. Now I'm going to get that scripture. You know? This is Acts 1 and verse 9. It says, and when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And it keeps saying that it's likened into a cloud, man. You know? Let's see what it says. A cloud used of the cloud which led the Israelites in the wilderness, which that cloud was the actual chariot. That's what led us, man. You know? Where was I done on that? Yeah. And it says, verse 10, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood with them in white apparel. And that was the angels, man. You know? So he went up in a cloud, man. All right? Let me get that. Well, I have mentioned that cloud that was that led them in the wilderness. You can go to Exodus 13 chapter. It talks about it. You know? And I'm going to keep going. Verse 11, it says, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. Yeah, and that's exactly how the Yahushua is going to come back, man. You know? Just like how he came, is how he left is how he going to come back in the chariots, man. I'm going to get that. And he's going to come with the angels, man. Remember in that video, it said it's a whole fleet of them. This is Matthew 25 and verse 31. It says, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit on the throne of his glory. You know? And so he's going to come in his glory, man, with all the angels. And then talked about the cloud, right? This is Revelation 1 verse 7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so to why. Now, let's go to another article, because they got the Space Force. This is the video I was looking at, you know, from Now This News. You got the all these comments, you know. But this is from February the 10th. The Space Force asked for $15 billion in its first budget request, man. You know? They seeing this newly signed funding bill gives NASA a significant boost. It's February 15th, 2019. You know? Look how much money that they spending. Because they're going to be afraid when Yahushua comes back, man. Billions of dollars they spending. Look, this is June 7th, 2009. It says, are UFOs a threat to national security? This ex-U.S. official thinks they warrant investigation. You know? Hey, man, because they know that they have but a short time, man. This is the times that's coming. All right? Now, let me get when Yahushua coming back. Yeah. Is this what I wanted? Yeah. 2nd Esdras 13. And I'm going to start from 3. It says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with his thousands of heaven. That's the him coming back with his angels, man. And that's why they're going to be fear. They're going to be in fear. It says, and when he turned his countenance to look, all these things trembled that were seen under him. Because, hey, it's our vehicles of salvation, but it's going to be a real punishment to the rest of the world, man. You know, it says, and whosoever, because remember, Yahushua, he going to come back with vengeance. It says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. Yeah, that's the beam, man. Another brother had that on one of his YouTube videos, man. All right. It says the laser beam. You know, it says after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude. Let me see how far I want to go. I'm gonna get a little bit on this. A multitude of men out of a number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Yeah, because hey, they're gonna be in Mr. World War III. They're gonna stop and try to fight the Lord, man. You know, which that sea was talking about the heavens, man. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But so now the chariot is being likened to a mountain, man. It says, but I would have seen the region or place whereof the hill was graven, and I could not. After this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there's fight. So they was afraid, but they still fought. But previously it said that he could not see the end of it, man. That's how big the chariot was. The Yahweh Shai gonna come back in the father ship, man, a huge ship, and you ain't gonna be able to see the end of it, man. Recently, it was even on Dabu 7's channel. He had seen something huge, bigger than the earth, moving towards the earth, man. You know, so we in them times, man. All the prophecies coming together, and now you seeing all the revelations of UFOs. It's because we in them times. It says, in verse 9, it says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held a sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, it was talking about the chariot, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that a sudden of innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So that's how much damage these chariots is going to do. So this dude, he's right to think that it's a threat. And that's why they spending all these billions of dollars, okay, to combat the chariots, man. This is their space force, man. January 29th, 2020. It says the Space Force is requesting $15.4 billion in fiscal 2021 to continue building up the fledgling service as it keeps its weapons priority on track. The request, which is in part of the Department of the Air Force's budget, includes $2.5 billion for operations and maintenance, $10.3 billion for research and development. They trying to research, you know, and $2.4 for procurement, you know. Although military personnel funding for the Space Force is kept within the Air Force's budget in fiscal year 21, budget material stated that about 6,400 military personnel and 3,500 civilians are set up to make the service this year. And you can keep reading on that, man. But they've been having these things up, man. They just revealed that they was doing some of these things, man. You know? And what? Let me get real quick. Because they got something called Operation Space to the Stars, right? Which they first tried to go to the outer space, you know, in 1969. They claimed they went to the moon. Well, now they doing it again. It says, Obadiah 1 verse 4 says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. So he about to bring his ass down, man. Let me see. Because he says, to the stars. I forget which article it was in. I pulled up a good amount of these, you know. Fuck, where'd it go? Yeah, here it go, right here. Throughout his distinguished government career, Chris Mellon has been keenly focused on the prospect of unconventional national threats. Now he works with a civilian group called To the Stars, Academy of Arts and Science, trying to prod the U.S. defense and intelligence communities to investigate reports of unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as UFOs, that maneuver in ways that have no known precedent. Yeah, because they moving in ways that they haven't seen, man. He's inspired, he says, by the growing number of such sightings in sensitive military contexts, reported by highly trained, highly credible witnesses and corroborated by some of the world's most sophisticated technology, including several infrared video shots from fighter jets. He doesn't claim to know what these unusual crafts might be, nor does he assume they bring aliens from afar. To him, they signal a potential high-level strategic threat of unknown origin, one the nation would be foolish to ignore. And it's not unknown origin. They know that we the Israelites. They know that the chariots is the angels, man. You know? But they're not going to reveal that to us. That's the world's best kept secret. You know? Matter of fact, look, it says UFOs are real, but don't assume that they are aliens. This is May 30. This is almost a year ago. You know? So these sightings, they have to produce it, man. You know? Look, UFOs refer to any flying object an observer cannot readily identify, and pilots with the U.S. Navy saw fast-moving UFOs repeatedly off the East Coast throughout 2014 and 2015, man. You know? It says those incidents were reported to the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, whose existence the Times and Politico revealed in December 2017. You know? It says, interestingly, though 2017 stories cited Pentagon officials as saying that the AATIP had been shut down in 2012, which they always say they shut something down, but they ain't never really shut it down. You know, so look, they got something that we ain't never even heard of, man, and you don't know when it started. That's when it was revealed that it existed. You know. It says the Navy pilots saw some UFOs reach hypersonic speeds without any detectable exhaust fumes, suggesting the possible involvement of super advanced propulsion technology. You know, it says still Defense Department officials aren't invoking intelligent aliens as an explanation. Yeah, because these are the same devils that when the Lord, when let me get it. When the Lord come and do what he do, they're not gonna admit it. They're gonna blaspheme, man. What's that? Revelation 16. Yeah, it says, Revelation 16, verse 8, it says, and the fourth angel poured out his veil upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with a great heat, and blasphemed the name of the Most High, which have power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. So they ain't even going to repent, man. You know? So he gonna come with vengeance with his angels, and he's gonna bring judgment upon our enemies, man. But to us, this is the vehicles of our salvation, man. You know, as it took Jeremiah, as it took Yahushua, it's going to take the Lord will takes us, man. You know, those of us that's going to remain. You know, this is 1 Thessalonians 4 and verse I start from verse 13. It says, but I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, according to them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not even as others which have no hope. Yeah, which is sleep, meaning they're dead. We ain't supposed to sorrow like others that have no hope, man. You know, because we know that we're going to be alive again. It's going to say, it says, for if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will the Most High bring with him. Will God bring with him? Yeah. So them that sleep, all right, them that sleep, Yahushua rose again from the dead. So why wouldn't brethren that die? You know? And he's going to bring him again with him when he comes. It says, for this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. Yeah. Because those that die, they still gonna come back with the Lord. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout. That's that loud voice that we heard, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. So them that's dead, they're gonna rise first. It says, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. You know? So the ones that's still there, they're going to get beamed up. When the ones who had to die for this truth, they're going to be already, they're going to come back with the Lord in the chariots, man. You know? And remember, it said the clouds again, man. You know? Said. It's Isaiah 66, verse 15. It says, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with the flames of fire," man. You know, and that's how he's going to plead with all flesh, man. "For by fire and by the sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Yahweh shall be many." You know? So, hey, man, this is a beautiful thing. This is the vehicles of our salvation, man. Let me get. There was one other one I was thinking of. Oh yeah, it's Isaiah 31. I don't want to make it too long. This is Isaiah 31 and verse 5. It says, "As birds flying, so will Yahweh of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also he will deliver it, and passing over he will preserve it." You know? So that's how he going to deliver us, man. You know? And I'm going to close. I think I got one more that I wanted. What was it? Yeah. Another one. This is Isaiah 26 in verse 20. It says, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut the doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. For behold, Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain." Yeah, so when the Lord comes to punish, we're going to be able to hide in those chambers, man, in them chariots. And we're going to be staring over the firmament, man, you know, as these things is happening. All right. Yeah, so I had a lot of articles, man, and, you know, a few scriptures. But those chariots, man, those chariots that they talk about in these videos, those are the vehicles of our salvation, man. When you look up the word chariot, it goes into one of the definitions is vehicle. All right, and look, our people knew that. Look at this. When swing low, sweet chariot, that's what we sung. They sung, right? "I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming forth to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming forth to carry me home," man. And that's what's going to happen, man. We're going to go home, you know? So, hey, you know, Lord willing, that boosts your spirits, man. You know, if you just listening and learning, hey, don't be afraid at the signs of heaven, man. For the heathens is dismayed at those signs, you know? But us, hey, we're going to rejoice. We're going to glory when the Lord come, you know? Matter of fact, got one more scripture. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5, verse 1. It says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, This was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach." Yeah, because when the Lord come and beam us up, you're going to see a lot of our people, they're going to be like, "Hey, man, we took what he was saying for granted, man. We had him in reproach. They laughed at us, scorned us. And we're going to be beamed up while they not. And they're going to taste the missiles, man. You know? And it's going to be a strange salvation, man. Because this is going to be, a matter of fact, let me see how that scripture go. Land of the north. You know? Just like he delivered us, he guided us in Egypt, and he's going to deliver us no more. Let me see. Get that. This is Jeremiah 16 and verse 14. It says, "Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave their fathers," man. You know? So he's going to bring us home, man. You know, and it's going to be a strange salvation. You know? A lot of people don't think that the Lord gonna come from the clouds and beam us up, man. But that's what's gonna happen, and that's our faith. So, Lord willing, this was a faith booster. Till the next lesson, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh.